Hello and welcome. Stuart Cohen here with another episode of the Group Sales Power Hour. You know, it's odd. I call it an episode only because it's a podcast. But, these started off as, and they still are, a business coaching session. A business coaching session. I realized that there were so many travel advisors, travel agents, travel planners, travel casters, whatever you want to call yourself. It's okay. I love you. I couldn't possibly do the one-on-one business coaching I wanted to do, that I was called to do, and that's why we have this, the Group Sales Power Hour, which, as you know, originally started off as the Ask Stuart Hour. If you are new to this and you're listening to this on the podcast channel, we go back. You can hear some of the other episodes because we talk about different subjects, largely focused, of course, on groups, helping you build a bigger, better group business. But then again, anything having to do with your success in this business is on the table. So as you're coming in, go ahead and type in. This is for everyone who's here in the house with me live. Go ahead and type in a good morning, a welcome, and if there's something you want to tackle today, if there's a success, something good is going on in your business world, I want to be able to share it and inspire others. If something challenging is going on in your business world, I want to be able to share it and inspire others. And maybe you've got a tip, a solution, an experience that will help somebody else. And maybe, just maybe, someone else here has a tip, a solution, a motivator, an educator to help you. I will tell you that I come to you sitting here right now absolutely exhausted. Although I'm wearing white and I'm wearing a hat because I just got back yesterday. Walked in the house last night close to 11 p.m. flying back from Cancun. Spent 10 days at the Grand at Moon Palace. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, wow. Well, how could you possibly be exhausted? Sometimes, especially you go on a vacation and you have so much fun. You experience so many fun activities, and you eat, you party, and this kind of stuff, that you need a vacation from the vacation, right? Well, this was not a vacation for me. This was what you probably had heard about for 2 years. I'm holding this up now. I'll read it to you if you're a subscriber and listening. It's called MORE, Mastermind Owners Retreat for Entrepreneurs. And let me tell you what you're in store for today, for those of you here live and those of you listening later. I want to give you a review of this mastermind and give you some nuggets. I may have 20 or 30, and to be honest with you, I could probably have come up with 100, but these are takeaways I feel really strongly about that you need to hear. I need to get some of this test and let you know, because it could make a big difference in your business, could make a big difference in your life. One of the biggest questions that came up, one of the first questions that came up when we started this mastermind down in Cancun, which I'm going to tell you about in just a second, hold on, was, hey, Stuart, so what did you change about the agenda? I mean, we had said this mastermind, and they're back-to-back masterminds, by the way, because you can't have a lot of people in a mastermind group, then it doesn't work. I think we had 11, right? We had 11 agents in each one, back to back. So on the day of arrival for the second group, that was the same day that the agents who were attending the first group were departing. So me, Mike Marchev, and my son, Zachary Cohen, who was the social marketing specialist, we stayed there for the entire 10 days, naturally. And the answer I gave to this agent who said, what did you change about the agenda, was nothing. And they said, well, wait a minute. Did you first start planning this event, this mastermind event, before, pre-COVID, when we didn't know what it was? And I said, yes. Well, how come we didn't change it? I said, Well, because everything's the same. And I'm going to read you the agenda. It's important that you know what we covered because I want it to be inspiring for you, everyone listening right now, because if you made a list of everything I say right now and go back and open up a notebook and do a business review, you're going to come out different at the other end, even though you did not attend a mastermind, which of course is a game changer. And I know I have right now in the audience right now, I have many of those masterminders are here. Danny and Linda, and who else is here? Karen, and I couldn't be more grateful that that you were with me in Cancun at the Grand, and you still have the energy to get up and do this with me now. So thank you. So I'm going to review what we discussed, take notes. I'm telling you, this is the business review you want to give yourself right now. Why? Because here's the profound concept. Ladies and gentlemen, professionals listening to the Group Sales Power Hour today, you will either come out at the other end of this pandemic, right? At the other end of this crisis, your value will either appreciate or depreciate, right? My boot campers have heard me say this. My masterminders have heard me say this, and I can't say it enough times because the same holds true for me as a professional motivational speaker. Your value, our value at the other end of this crisis will either appreciate or depreciate. It's not going to come out the same, and I'll tell you why. Those business owners like you, maybe you don't own your own business, maybe you're an independent contractor, that's okay. I don't care. Okay, you're here right now. You're listening to me. If you're not doing, if you haven't been doing anything different, anything special, re-engineering, resharpening your axe, learning new stuff and getting ready to apply new stuff, which I'm going to go through all this stuff. You're in for a real treat today, friends, a real treat. So stick around. Then if you're expecting just to sit back and get the tsunami of business that's heading this way, you're not going to get it. Your value is going to depreciate because you haven't been using this as a leadership moment. You haven't been refining, defining, re-educating, re-motivating, re-inspiring, reconnecting, re-engaging with your followers. I'm not going to call them clients because most of us have more unclients than clients. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. However, if you've been tenacious and prodigious and steadfast in your efforts to grow your business despite this crisis, I know this is definitely a shared struggle. I know it. I hear you. Then just sitting back and waiting for the phone to ring, you're going to get fewer calls. Everyone listening right now, you're taking the time, you've unplugged from everything else to give me this time, and I am eternally grateful for you because I want to make it worth your while. And I hope that what I just said makes you feel good that you're in the right place at the right time. And those of you just back from Mastermind, man, I hope you felt that every minute, every dollar, every time we spent together, every moment was worthwhile in transforming your business. We hear this expression all the time. Knowledge is power. And I know so many of you have taken certification courses. You've attended a gazillion training sessions with your brands. I like saying that versus suppliers. Okay, big deal. Some of you that even attended the mastermind, you came away with tons of notes and lots of information. Big deal. Knowledge isn't power. You know what I'm about to say. Applied knowledge is. Applied knowledge is. Hi, Lynn. Lynn's in the house. Yeah, so as you come in, you could also say hello to me because I want to acknowledge it. Thank you for being here. All right, so let me give you a quick review, and then these are my notes. Look at this. Look at this. I probably have 20 or 30 things I really need to get off my chest and share with you. That get ready to hit pause if you're listening to the playback and write this stuff down because I think it's meaningful stuff because I want to change your game. If I'm not changing your game or inspiring you to do something different, then you don't need me. I'm not your motivator. I'm not your chief motivation officer, and that's what I signed up to be. So the agenda that was exactly the same before pandemic and after right now, you'll see why. Hey, Dawn's in the house. Kyle's in the house. Kyle, thank you for your referrals. Kyle has sent me a bunch of referrals to Boot Camp Live, and I can't begin to tell you how happy I am and grateful I am for that. Thank you, sir. So we broke it up into 3 days, and you know what a mastermind is? A mastermind is not me and Mike and Zach sitting up there talking for full days, 3 days straight. No, we were facilitated. Yeah, we did a couple little presentations there on demand, but it's a sharing thing. Everyone holds equal sway. Everyone is the leader. Everyone is the influencer. Everyone is the speaker. It's an open, unabridged, raw, authentic sharing of ideas in a very loving, nurturing, judgment-free environment. How's that for a spontaneous definition of a mastermind? So on day one, the theme was discovery. Day two, the theme was performance. At day three, the theme was growth. And when Mike and I, when we put this agenda together, we wanted it to flow, to make logical sense, because on day one discovery, we talked about prevailing problems, right? We had these giant Post-it notes, right, that we could write on magic marker, and we put them all on the walls. Isn't that fun when you do that, right? It's kind of cool. Prevailing problems. Everyone had prevailing problems before the pandemic. Do you remember those problems? Maybe they pale in comparison to post-pandemic problems. There's a lot of peas a popping. But at the end of the day, you had problems before the pandemic, you have problems now. So we talked about roadblocks and obstacles, and we made a whole list because we wanted to know, we didn't want anyone in that room who made the trip down to feel unheard, to feel unresolved. And frankly, I'm going to say to you, if you here with this power hour, I want you to feel like this was a good, important hour for you, that you were heard. So remember, let your fingers do the typing, type in stuff you want to talk about. I'll share as much as I possibly can. If I can't, I'll go back and I'll catch up in our Facebook groups. The next was identifying your true purpose, focusing on your mindset, and are you really doing the business you really love doing? Are you a TGIM person? Thank God it's Monday, because now's the time, right? Pivot. I know you're tired of pivot preaching, but we talked about your true purpose, and I'm going to read you a couple of notes of the discoveries we made together. And frankly, if you haven't gone to a mastermind, if you haven't attended a think tank, you need to immediately. And part 3 to that day one of discovery was mastering a niche. Are you specializing in the right thing? You know, well, how did you arrive there? Is it going well? Are you the celebrity authority? Are you the expert, and are you leveraging it? And then day 2 was performance. We moved along, you know, because you can't talk about sales and marketing and time management and team and blah, blah, blah until you have your foundation built, right? You don't build a house from the roof down. Day 2 was performance. We talked sales, selling skills, and client retention. I have some comments to make on that, because I'm telling you right now, I don't think you're doing half as much as you need to be, not should be, need to be doing for client retention. We make assumptions that everyone on our list is in love with us and would never cheat on us. We're wrong about that. We talked a lot about time management because, frankly, procrastination came up a lot. So I'm going to make some comments on that. I'm going to share some stuff with you. And we talked about team. If you are the manager, if you have people reporting to you, or even you have independent contractors, and you have to at least manage that, because you can't really manage them because they don't work for you. It's an at-will contract, kind of, right? And then day 3 was growth. And of course, what would you think that is? That's new business development, sourcing new clients, sourcing new business, even though you need to be spending a disproportionate share of your time loving on the people already on your list, right? The people who already love you and the people you love. You want to do that first before you go find new business, unless you're starting over. I can't wait to share you about what we call a goosebump moments. We had goosebump moments. And we talked social marketing, digital media, because there is a shocking lack of comfort, information, knowledge, usage of something like Instagram versus Facebook, or in conjunction with Facebook. I know we had Catherine Hegon here last time talking about lead magnets, and her specialty is social marketing. And are you doing enough? Probably not. Are you using it right? Probably not. We can always up our game because their game changes. Their game keeps changing so much. Zach, I'm so proud of him. That's his specialty, social marketing. And we dove deep. So I have a couple of comments on that. And then, of course, part of the conversation was building worth. Do you have an exit plan? Does your business have value? What does that mean? What does it look like? What gives it value? And what if you ever wanted to join forces and join, so your company, two companies meld together, right? So what I want to do now is, so that was the same agenda, right? Now you understand why. Let me go through this list here. And as I go through this list, many are focused on growing your group sales. All of them will help you grow your business, whether it's groups or not, friends. Whether it's groups or not. So let me go back and check the boards here. Linda just shared, I just got an instant message from my grandson's friend's mom that wants to go to Mexico at the end of the summer. And Linda, you were at Mastermind, right? You leveraged social marketing while you were down there, and you got a lead. You got a lead. We're going to talk about all the fam trips maybe you've been on, friends. Are you leveraging it correctly? Let's see here. Dawn, Nancy. Hey, Nancy's in the house. Okay, here we go. And again, if you haven't said yes, please yes. If you haven't said hello, please come and say I'm slightly delusional right now. Slightly delusional as I readjust to real life. You know, when you stay at a fancy schmancy resort for 10 days, you lose touch with reality now, don't you? Okay, now these are not in any particular order, so bear with me, but there's important stuff I want to share with you. And also, I made a list about stuff about the Grand and the team there that were amazing. So if you want, if we have time, let me know if you want like 3 or 4 points on what I thought the Grand did exceptionally well under these conditions. All right. And let me just say, Linda said, I did, and I told her I just got back from the Grand Moon Palace. There you go. So there's nothing better saying, hey, I just got back from. And if you didn't post, all of you who have been on fam trips and so forth, are you calling your consumers saying, hey, I'm just back from, you want to hear about it? I mean, every reason in the world to do a Zoom. I know you're tired of Zoom, but do a Zoom thing right now. Hey, I'm just back from. Let me give you the top 3 things, top 5 things that I did. It doesn't even have to focus on COVID. Forget it. Let's just talk about the good times, the fun stuff that you can do, right? Keisha is in the house from Detroit. I'm so glad you're here. And Kyle said, yes, he wants to hear the fill us in on the Grand. I absolutely will, and thank you. See, I love this interaction, because I don't feel like I'm sitting in my office all alone. I make believe you're here with me, hanging out. Hey, we're hanging out. And let me just take a sip of my tea, and then we're going to dive deep. Here we go. This is going to be fun. I woke up this morning saying, what am I going to talk about? I don't have a guest on today's Power Hour, and I want to make every second work for you. And I'm like, my gosh, I've got, my head is filled with good, exciting ideas and thoughts to be a catalyst for you, because the struggle is definitely shared. And this mastermind ended up, after 2 delays, supposed to happen in March last year, August last year, it came at the right time. So here we go, not necessarily in a specific order. I can tell you that escorting your group is more important than ever before, and it proved my theory. And some of you know this, when you do escort, because Palace Resorts didn't send one, they sent two BDMs, Jenny and Kaylin, two BDMs to tend to us, to look out for us, to stay a step ahead and behind the scenes for us, and give us options to check in, make sure everything's going well. And listen, friends, the best laid plans always get messed up somehow, some way. So if you're planning these groups and you're not going, something's going to change that wasn't according to plan. I wish you could be there. But you want to put that heavy responsibility on the shoulders of the group leader, because it's really not what they signed up for, unless they are a tour guide, unless they are used to escorting, unless they are agreeable to it and realize that maybe 50% of the time they'll have fun and 50% of the time they'll be working hard. Or should I say this, 60% of the time they'll be working hard and 50% of the time they'll be having fun. And I know there's a 10% overlap, but sometimes we have fun while we're working too, but it's stress. To give you an example, I'm going to give you an example. I'm not going to, give you facts and so forth. I'm going to tell you that that they set up beautifully. They thought they were doing us a big favor by setting up a little breakfast outside the room, because we were together from 9 a.m. to 4:30. They set up a nice breakfast and a lunch. The lunch was a beautiful Mexican fiesta. It was lovely. And I said, "This is lovely, thank you. However, no, it's not necessary. I would much rather have our participants explore the resort and eat where they want to eat, with who they want to eat with, because this was not a working breakfast. It was not a working lunch. We decided to create an environment. And think about this, because if you're going to run a meeting, have you thought of running your own mastermind? Have you thought of running your own think tank? Are you looking to get into the corporate meeting business? And this is not too heavy duty. You can do this. And we said, listen, it's not necessary. We're not working through lunch because we wanted to give our participants time to catch up on the business, catch up with family back home, take a nap if they needed a nap. Go, the Grand offers so many places to eat indoors and outdoors. We wanted you to explore, right? Right, Danny? Right, Linda? Right, who else is here? Right, Karen? And they didn't bring it the next time, and it worked out. So being there and seeing sometimes the crews or the property, they may do something that's they think is beautiful. Hey, we're going to give you a big surprise. And you only find out that you don't need the surprise, right? Another part was that we brought a projector. Mike owns a little projector. And we figured, hey, we could save some money, bring our own projector. The problem was it wasn't bright enough. So we have made it, but it wasn't even a financial decision. Who cares? Let's rent one of the projectors. You've got to be there on your feet and ready. Number two, again, in no particular order, are you doing collaborations? Are you working with other business owners, let alone other travel agencies? Are you doing stuff together? I mean, this was a collaborative effort between me and Mike. We run separate businesses. Sure, we're great friends, and we're also competitors. We compete for the same gigs a lot of times in the travel business. But we did it together, and what we saw was the sum of the whole was greater than the sum of the parts. So if you haven't yet done a collaboration or a JV, you know what JV means, right? Go ahead and say it. JV, joint venture. Why not think of doing a joint venture? You're so focused on finding a group leader. What about doing a joint venture with another business? And listen to me carefully on this. Doesn't it sound sexier to go to a business, whether it's the local wine store or whatever it is, or a restaurant, whatever it is, and say, hey, do you want to do a joint venture? So right now, reframe it and quit thinking, hey, let's go do a group together. You want to be a group leader, because most people are like, no. I'm a busy guy. I'm a busy gal. Why don't you just say, let's do a joint venture collaboration? I got to cross these out, or else There we go. Next, newsletters. How many of you have been doing newsletters? And some of you produce the newsletter yourself. Some of you use the newsletter that your consortia or your marketing organization or your host or your franchise uses. Well, why? Is it working for you? Is it doing anything for you? Is your attitude, hey, let me just get out there for visibility, or are you leveraging it? I'm not going to go into detail here, but I was moved and inspired by some of the ways our mastermind members were using their newsletter. So don't just set it and forget it. Make it work for you. Make it engaging. Make it consistent. And make sure it has a purpose. And if you're using a generic cookie cutter boilerplate newsletter, you may want to give it a second thought, because your people, are you checking the unsubscribe rates to this newsletter that you're not producing? It's not your face, it's not your voice, it's not about your business. It could be darn boring, and they could be unimpressed. So you think you're doing something just for the sake of doing it, and may not be helping you at all. And let's talk about visibility. Some of our masterminders described they're getting inundated. Is this you? Is this you? Am I talking to you? Inundated with emails and Zoom meetings and stuff from certain suppliers, certain brands. Inundated. So in their head, they're thinking, let's just keep in front of the agent. Keep in front of the agent. Just pump it out. Let's blanket them. Let's drown them in information. Keep the brand out there. And you know how that works? Badly. I don't want to ask you to name those suppliers, those brands that are drowning you in insignificant information. Write those two words down. Write them down. Insignificant information. And some of the masterminders in the meeting said, I am never doing business with them again. And I also heard words of praise for those brands that were being very helpful, very informative, inspiring information, versus a deluge just to keep the brand in front of you. So let's take this reframe now. Are you deluging? I don't know if that's a word, a verb, but I just made it up. Are you just doing stuff for the sake of visibility, and it could come back to bite you because people are unsubscribing not only from your list, but they're unsubscribing from you as a travel agent? All right, I had to say that, because I have a feeling some of you are. We join these hosts and I'm not calling out any in particular, and if don't take any offense if you're saying, but Stuart, the newsletter that such and such does for me is awesome. Great, it's beautiful, it's awesome. Are you engaging? Are you leveraging it? Is there a purpose, and do I look forward to receiving it when you send it out, or do they get unsubscribed? Here's another one. Let me just make this comment. Whether you call it, I know Asta, I think it was Asta, came out and said, oh, we're changing your name to advisor. They told you they're changing your name to advisor. Okay. Look, I love everyone at Asta. I have dear friends there. I've been hired by them, and I'm letting you know, you could call yourself whatever you want. Agent, advisor, counselor, planner, who cares? In fact, I would even suggest, do you really need that? Just put your name, put your designations, CTC, CTA, whatever certification you may have, whatever level of education you have that you want to promote. And, if you put the name of your agency there and one sentence about what you do, they'll know you're a travel agent. I'm just saying. Next, the pros and cons of having a BDM on your Zoom call. I just got to put this out there because I know there are certain brands that are giving their BDMs goals. Back in the day when they used to be able to be on the road making sales calls, banging on your doors, and coming to visit you, whether you're at home or in a brick and mortar office meeting for coffee, there were goals. There were numbers. They had to hit at least X amount of sales goals. I know I was a DSM with Costa and Princess, and then I ran the team over at Celebrity. I was director of key account sales, so I had a team of BDMs, and yeah, there were sales call quotas. I wasn't really into them because to me it was about quality over quantity. However, a lot of the BDMs now want to, or you may be asking them to do a joint Zoom call training for your people. I'm going to tell you that could be good, that could be bad. It could be the easy way out, and while you may be able to leverage that and say, oh, I've got the business development manager with such and such, and we're going to talk to you together about this destination and this product. Well, what if I'm the consumer saying, okay, well, if you need that business development manager to be on that call to answer the questions, what do I need you for? Let that sit out there and marinate. What do I need you for? Aren't you the expert? Don't you know everything? So be a little reticent. Good word. Think twice. Think 3 times about inviting somebody from the line on, from the hotel on, cruise line, because really, it may sound good. It may sound all sexy, but it may work against you because the consumer would say, well, I thought you know all this stuff. Now that I have a direct, I feel like, can I have his email? Can I have her email address? Of course not. You can't. But, what if they go direct because they're saying, hey, man, you're a groovy guy. You're a groovy gal. I'm just going to book direct. I don't need this agent. So really think twice about that. Networking. Somebody had mentioned at our mastermind that haven't been networking in a long time. And I said, well, then you've been missing out on virtual networking opportunities. So, dear friends, networking is alive and well right now. Get to it. Get on it. Now, we just had this mastermind event, which is definitely networking. There's no doubt about it. However, if you're not involved in virtual networking events right now, you've been missing out. If you haven't started your own networking event, then you've been missing out. Get started right now. And certainly networking can be with other agents, okay, business owners. It could be with local businesses. What's your niche? Oh my goodness, we can go nuts just talking about this. I did write an article and I did a podcast all about many masterminds and many think tanks. These are all networking events. If you haven't started it, do it now. Reach out, connect. Talk to people. I see lots of people typing in, and I can't wait to see what you're saying here. When's the last time you had somebody? Here we go. Next one. When's the last time, not you review your website or business card? When's the last time you had somebody else review your website or business card? We did this during the mastermind, and there, no doubt, there were some owners who were like, no, I'm not real proud of it. I don't want you to look at it. I know what's wrong with it. I'm going to get it fixed up. And others said, okay, be gentle, be kind, be loving. And of course we were. And sometimes you need to hear it. Outside eyeballs taking a look in. Now, don't you? I do this with my website. You got to have thick skin, but make sure that it's a safe zone. This is business, nothing personal. I guarantee you, if you have 2 or 3 of your colleagues or BDM, hey, you got a minute? Take a look at my website. What do you think? What's working for you? What's not? Is it telling my story? Do it. Same with your business card. As far as I'm concerned, and I've always preached this, your business card serves only one purpose. And this is going back for as long as I've been in this fabulous industry over, 23, 24 years. Your business serves one purpose, not the brand, not the brand. Nobody's going to remember your brand, right? They're going to remember you. They just want to know, how do I find you? How do I reach you? How do I contact you? That's it. And if you use tiny type just because you got to squash in tons of stuff on your card, you're making a big mistake, because unless your primary client is really young and they don't need eyeglasses to see tiny type, then I won't be able to read your business card, and I'm going to throw it away because I'm not going to go wait till I put my glasses on. I just want to know what's your name and where do I find you. That's it. Strip everything else out. Part and parcel to that are QR codes. Now, let's talk about the Grand at Moon Palace. You walk into a restaurant, they give you a choice. By the way, walking into the restaurant, you must have a mask on, or make sure that if you're listening to this later on, that you understand that we were there from March 1 to March 10. March 1 to March 10. So I'm going to date this, put a timestamp on it, because sometime in the future, you're going to come back and listen to this, say, mask, what are you talking about? But to enter the restaurant, you need to have the mask on. And then when you're seated, you could take it off. But you have a choice. Would you like this menu or use your phone and use a QR code? I'm sure some of you right now are saying, Stuart, I'm cool with this. Been there, done that. All of our local restaurants these days are using QR codes too. Now, I don't know about you, but I love it. I love the QR code, and I sort of saved those menus so I can go back when I went to certain restaurants again. Did you know you can create a QR code in 10 seconds? Absolutely free. A QR code, it's that thing that looks like nothing, but it says a whole lot. So you can create a QR code for your Facebook page, for your Instagram page, for your website, for a meeting, your Zoom meeting. And why wouldn't you have a business card that on the front side has your name and phone number, and on the back has a QR code? Well, why would you put a long website name or a long Facebook name or whatever on your card? Who's going to sit there and type it out? Because, we're so used to clicking the hyperlink now, aren't we? Can't do that with a business card, can you? But you can when it's a QR code and person holds their phone up, and they go, oh, thanks. Thanks. It was nice meeting you in the elevator. I'm going to go visit your website now. You're done. You're good. I think that's super cool. You could do it with AirDrop, so forth and so on. So forth and so on. I love saying that. Okay, let me keep going. Let me take we're about the halfway mark, and I've got a bunch more to go to. I'm going to read your comments. More good stuff coming. I hope you're enjoying this. But I just want you to remember, if you're in boot camp, then you can come to Boot Camp Live. There's no charge. You're already paid to be in boot camp, Group Sales Boot Camp. So my Group Sales Boot Camp Live is complimentary for you, and we're just about sold out. It's happening in March and June. And if you are a podcast subscriber, send me an email, and I will give you, because I may have to cut it off, a promo code, but it's going to be your last shot to get my group training, friends. Your last shot. Unless I get hired by a company, like in 2 weeks. I know. Poor Pity Stu. He's heading back down to Moon Palace, Cancun, to do another group sales summit for Nexion. So for Nexion and other companies that hire me to do group training, I will do it. Otherwise, I'm moving on to do an extremely big project, and that's going to be your last shot to get my group training. So make sure you do if you can. And if you're with Virtuoso, make sure you sign up. My next training events are May 5th for Virtuoso. So that's just a little commercial where I'm headed, where I'm going, and to catch me do some of my training. And Virtuoso, it's not groups. We're not talking groups at all. Not groups at all. All right, so here we go. Let me make sure I get through. Actually, well, hang on. Let me check the boards here. Kisa said that she hired Catherine to renovate my Facebook business page. There you go. Trying to get social marketing in order. Way to go, Kisa. I know Catherine's going to be thrilled. Lynn said, any chance you could do a future session about newsletters? I think that's a great idea, Lynn. And the answer is yes. So I will. In fact, maybe I could bring on an expert too to help us with that. Because, you could do it could be a PDF newsletter. It could link back to your website. It could be something that's an attachment as a JPEG, or it could be a video too. You ever thought of doing a video newsletter? Nancy says, I use newsletters, Facebook, Meetup, and email to stay in touch and invite clients to my virtual presentation series. So Nancy leverages her newsletters for a specific purpose, and I'm on your list, Nancy. I get them. I love them. You know why? One of the many reasons why I love them, because they contain big, bold, beautiful, colorful, happy pictures. And so many of those pictures, you're in them. I love what you're doing, Nancy. Kyle said, reference suppliers, being on that call with you. Information is great, but we need practical information to find and sell clients, not just general information. So, right. So these brands that are just giving you general stuff that you knew 20 years ago, they're wasting your time. So they're not doing good CRM, are they, Kyle? They should be sending you, if you're more advanced based on your sales, based on your needs, they should say, hey, what do you want to subscribe to? What do you want from our company? So we give you what you need, and you need to do the same with your customers. I want to give you what you need. Nancy said, my BDM from AMA helped me learn how to present, but now I'm organizing my own working with DMCs. What's a DMC? Destination Management Company. Thank you. From different destinations, Malawi, Ireland, Italy, and the Azores. Super cool. Kisa said, I just had Nicole Barrett review my website on Wednesday. It was very insightful and rewarding. Kisa, that's awesome. And friends, if you haven't heard, so I had Nicole Barrett on. She's awesome. She was on my podcast. I was on her podcast. I have a new friend. We weren't friends before. Now we are. Kay, hello, Kay. My website is being updated. It was old and I was tired of looking at the old site. Good for you, Kay. Now's the time. You got to stay contemporary. And if you're in boot camp, Danny asked this question. I will send you the links just a few days before. Sit tight. Sit tight. Haven't gotten that far yet. Lynn says, do we need to register for boot camp live if we're already part of paid group boot camp? You don't need to register. Hang on there. I'm so glad you're asking me these questions. I got you covered. If you're at boot camp, don't you worry. Listen to me. Don't you worry. Got you covered. Now, let's get back here. Let me buzz through these really important stuff. Agent versus entrepreneur. I include this in a lot of my speeches because it's a mindset thing, friends. Are you an agent or are you an entrepreneur? Think about this, right? The agent is sort of the middle person between the client and the brand, and they don't really validate their purpose. You know, why do I need you? If I'm the consumer, why do I need you? So let me just suck you for all the information I can get and I'll go buy it myself. Well, an agent is more of a library. Now, it has nothing to do with what you call yourself, friends. Remember this. I love you. You can call yourself a travel agent. I don't care what you call yourself, but it's what you do, the actions. If your mindset, if you work like an agent versus an entrepreneur, you're going to get different results. And everyone who came to the mastermind were entrepreneurs because they didn't want to stagnate. They want to do the same old thing. They wanted to grow. And when you're an entrepreneur, you invest in training. When you're an entrepreneur, you invest in networking events. You invest in growth, and you're not afraid to stop doing stuff and to start doing new stuff. Entrepreneur is a bit of a risk taker. An entrepreneur is not comfortable doing the same old thing. All right, how am I doing so far? Just let me know. Are you enjoying this? Is this interesting to you? Let me know. I'm going on here. We got a lot, and I want to get it done within the hour. We talked about setting up your own mastermind, a think tank, or attending to actually connect and network and engage and come away hearing stuff that no one else had told you before. And this leads to my goosebump moments thing. Goosebump moments. We had several advisors come down, several agents come down, and we kept saying, before you leave this room, we want you to feel heard. We don't want you to feel that you're still scratching your head saying, who am I? What am I doing in this business? I'm getting tired of it. I've lost some of my passion, especially with the pandemic. And they just sort of fessed up. They came clean. They said, I need some help here. I'm struggling. What do I do? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of working with these people. I'm tired of selling this product. I love this business. I don't want to give up. I don't want to move on. But I'm just getting tired. Things are getting stale. So we had what we call an intervention, a loving intervention. And you know what? These beautiful people were sitting on that gold mine right there, right in their own backyard with the diamonds buried right there with these. But we needed to validate, to acknowledge that, hey, whoa, go back, come back. You just said you love this. You just said you love that. What? Why not make it your business? And it wasn't that simple, but it was. Sometimes when you're sitting around with a group of other professionals who are not your competitors, by the way, there's too much business out there for everybody. When you hear yourself say these words and others are listening, and you know that expression, you don't see the trees through the forest. These were revelation moments. These were epiphanies, and they had goosebumps, and they had tears, and we couldn't be more excited and happy and grateful to be a part of this self-discovery about what their true purpose is today. It may not have been 5 years ago, but it was today. And they're going back and they're gonna knock down their house and they're gonna build up a brand new house. And I couldn't be more excited with them. So if you're not truly fulfilled, if you don't feel you're authentic in your marketing, if you don't feel you're authentic in your social marketing, it's a struggle, then maybe you need a goosebump moment, and maybe you need to talk with others, share here, and maybe we can help you have that goosebump moment so you're doing what you really, really love to do and helping the people who really need you, who you want to help, who need your help most. Now's the time. Now's the time. And when you're talking to clients or unclients, remember, most of the people on your list are unclients. Most of them are unclients, which means that, of course, they've already paid, they've already come back from their trip, and they have nothing new booked. That's an unclient. Not going to get into that. You've heard me talk about that a lot, but I don't think there's never been a better time to be asking that simple question. The simple question: do you have any friends or family it would be fun to travel with? Do you have any friends or family it'd be fun to travel with? Because, you know, everyone on this line right now, you're all thinking groups. Well, why can't a group be 3 staterooms or 3 rooms, a mini group? It doesn't always have to be a big group where you're earning tort TCs and so forth. It just could be a mini group. I think you're going to see more mini groups than ever before in the history of travel, let alone regular sized groups. Let's talk about client retention for a minute. That was a big deal. Look at me. Look at me. You're not doing enough when it comes to client retention. You're just not. You're probably doing about 10-15% of what you could be doing, should be doing, must be doing for client retention. And that comes under the umbrella of loyalty. It's loyalty. Loyalty, I believe, is an action word. It should be a verb, because you need to do stuff to create an environment of loyalty. And friends, don't think it's your client, your unclient, who goes first. You go first. They want to be sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you're going to be loyal to them. Because if you're loyal to them first, they'll be loyal to you second. And it has to be earned. Loyalty has to be earned. You don't earn it just through a sale. You don't make a sale and just expect that you're going to receive loyalty. That ain't going to happen. That's going to set you up for failure, friends. So triple, quadruple your efforts under client retention, and we could talk about that all day. We could have a whole show on that if you want, on client retention, on loyalty stuff. It's actually what I'm doing for Virtuoso now. But quadruple your efforts in terms of client retention, because it's so easy for you to get busy with something else and somebody else, and they're sneaking out the back door. Why? Because they don't think you love them. They don't think you love them anymore. You just loved them for their money. And also, under that same premise, speed wins. Now more than ever before, speed wins. Right now, people are getting eager. They're getting antsy. They want information. They want to hear what's going on out there. They want to start getting plans ready, right? You know that. When we were together for our mastermind groups, almost everyone in that room reported of a very recent victory, a big sale, something big brewing, and that the phones are ringing. Stuff is happening. Action. Speed wins now. You want to be the first on the callbacks, the first on the email backs. You want to be first in, because if you're not, you're going to miss out. Procrastination. Talk about this all day too. That's a big issue with just about everybody. There's only a few precrastinators I know. He's out there right now. He's a precrastinator. Most of us are procrastinators, and there's always a reason for it. It's because it's a task that we just don't like doing. So make that discovery about yourself, about procrastinating, and why. Why are you always late doing that? And has it cost you business? There's got to be a reason for it. So if it's something that you could farm out, get somebody else to do, so you could free yourself up with the stuff you love doing, that you can procrastinate out and then do it, or else get it done. I'll give you my example. I shared this with some of you. I'm doing another partial ship charter on the Ama Verde, Ama Waterways for July 2022. And my friends will want to go again. We want to go again, right? So we got the space, and next thing you know, I had some friends that they want higher level staterooms. They want to get those AAs. They want to go from an AB or BA to an AA. And so I said, no problem, we'll get it for you. I called up Ama. Guess what? Ship is sold out. Let me say it again, July 2022, ship is sold out. I'm on wait list to get upgrades. Rock and roll, get in there. And by the way, when it comes to procrastination, if you can't decide what to do, if you're overwhelmed with responsibilities, why don't you make the decision based on customer centricity? What would be best for my customer? Not for me. Make customer centric decisions, but also stay in control. Don't let your business run you. You run your business. It's okay to tell people that I work by appointment only and set up a 15-minute or 30-minute, 1-hour appointment. It's okay to tell people on Tuesday, I cannot have that conversation with you, but on Wednesday, I can. Don't let you run your business. Let your business run you. How about Facebook versus Instagram, right? Zach, my son, man, I learned stuff I never knew the differences, and I'm missing the boat on Instagram. So if you don't understand it yet, understand it. I saw a posting in our group Sales Success Facebook group. Lynn S. notified us that Facebook changed the way they do notifications in groups. And you know, they make these changes all the time. And I appreciated that. And then Dawn, and you could see this right now, it's in Facebook right now. She said, I'm disenchanted with Facebook. So we got first of all, you know, unless you're doing paid advertising, these are free tools. You can pay with Instagram, you can pay with Facebook, but they're free tools. And if you're disenchanted and they're not serving your purpose, figure out, are you doing something wrong? Change it, and how you can leverage it. Or should you stop using Facebook and use Instagram only? Instagram is amazing. The level of fine-tuning who you want to talk to, getting into the right communities to see who sees, who reads your message, who sees your pretty pictures, and who doesn't. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Let me go right to here right now. FAMs. I only got like 6 minutes left, and I do want it. There's three big things here. But let me just check these the boards here. Kay said, Kay, don't worry about it. We'll be in touch about Bootcamp Live. I'll get you all taken care of. Kyle's loving it. Jenny said, yes, Power Hour on client retention, loyalty to clients. All right. Lynn said, I would love to show about client retention. All right. We're going to get to focus on that. So I've got three things that I want to go out with. So stick with me, friends. Stick with me. We could definitely, I could bring this to the next Power Hour too, because I didn't even talk about time management. There's a million things here. Let me tell you, if you go on a lot of FAMs, make sure that you're leveraging your time there. You're saying, no worries, Stuart, I'm posting pretty pictures. I'm here to tell you, take it a step beyond. People are getting, I don't want to say tired of, but if you want to elevate your presence, elevate your take rate and your engagement level, then why not do a 15-second or 30-second live video saying, here I am doing the activity. If not a picture of you with your toes in the sand there on the beach or having a Mai Tai, A Mai Tai. When's the last time you had a Mai Tai? Like, where does that come from? Mai Tai. I don't even know what's in it. It probably looks pretty, but I can't tell you the last time I had a Mai Tai. Why don't, because I had suggested this, how to ask your clients when they're on the trip, when they're on the trip, they are your clients. Hey, send me a 30-second or a 60-second selfie video when you get there and you do that thing that you've been counting down the minutes and the days and seconds because you couldn't wait to be there doing it. Are you doing that? Are you firing up the camera saying, here I am, I'm down here on the beach and I'm about to go for a swim. I'm down here in the Olympic pool. I'm down here at the Lebanese restaurant, Habibi at the Grand, which is my favorite, about to have hummus and baba ganoush and shakshuka and some of the best food in the world. Don't sweat it, man. 15-second, 30-second, 60-second selfie video, post it, there you go. Next, fees. Again, we could spend a whole hour on fees. I know you're going to be writing. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Fees, hands down, most of you don't know how to handle fees, aren't collecting fees, or messing up with fees, and you what I call a commission hostage. A commission hostage, and I don't want you to be. I've been saying that for over 20 years. Why limit yourself to what the supplier is willing to pay you, what the brand is going to pay you? That should just be a part of what you earn. You got to create a fee package, and especially groups are the answer, because you bake it in, you bundle it in. You don't even have to call it a fee. It's part of the package. It's already built in. However, when you're doing individuals, it's a little harder, and you got to be confident, and you need to have a plan. We had some significant breakthroughs at our mastermind around new strategies for collecting fees for the work you do that you deserve, that you earn. One of our members said that on average, on a complicated trip, it could be 29 hours you're spending with a client, not even for a complicated trip. Sometimes that's a long time. It's over a day. Are you earning? What are you earning per hour when you're spending 29 hours on a trip, putting the pieces together, especially on a group? I hope you're not earning $1.50 an hour, because that's a problem. Talk fams. Now, this is the final chapter. I'm going to get your last comments and questions about independent contractors. We had a lot of discussion around this, and Karen D, who is a boot camper and at the mastermind, if you're going to have even one independent contractor, is that the business you want to be in as an owner, as a manager? Because it's a lot of work, right, Karen? When you have even one IC, it's a lot of work. Even though they don't work for you, it's a lot of work. So what business do you want to be in? I'm asking him, looking at you. What business do you want to be in? Do you want to be in management? We had a mastermind who came down, Randy, and his primary job is managing all the independent contractors, motivating. I hate to use the word managing, right? But I'm saying managing that area of his business, right? Is that the business you want to be in? Or do you want to be in one-on-one sales? Or do you want to be on marketing? And then the question Karen had, and it looks like we're coming close to being over here, but you have to consider the risk and reward of having independent contractors. She had asked, does it make sense to bring in independent contractors who specialize in specific areas of travel? If you don't specialize in wine or in golf, do you bring an IC in that does to do groups? I think it's a great option. And I'm going to give you one better. That independent contractor should also be the group leader. You've heard this is nothing new. Read Jeff Gadick's book on travel tribes. Why shouldn't that group leader also be an independent contractor? So they do multiple groups with multiple people a year, and they're doing what they love. Now, understand the risk and the reward. There could be certainly a lovely reward, but there's a high risk because you don't own them. You don't own those clients. They don't own those clients. It gets all dicey. You can paper up with contracts, but stuff happens. You can teach them everything you know, and they can say, thank you, I'm on my own. And you got to be prepared to take the wins and the losses. So yeah, it's a great idea. So you don't scatter yourself. You stay focused on what you love doing, people you love working with, your niche. Bring on others who have other specialties. Just understand the risk and reward of that. And I hope that helps. But I also think they can become a group leader too. So therefore, you can contract with them perhaps a little different. All right, it's amazing. This hour absolutely flew by, and I will go back and read out. Nancy's here. We got a couple. We got Lynn and Linda. So many other comments. I'll do my best to reply back in Group Sales Bootcamp. Right now, I bid you adieu. It's time to move on, and I hope you would tell me either in Bootcamp Facebook or in the Group Sales Success Space, what from this, if you listen to the podcast, what one thing, two things jumped you out of your seat saying, man, you're right. I'm not doing enough client retention. You're right. I can use a QR code. You're right. My website stinks. It needs to have a look over it, a review. I need to rebuild it. What do you need? And if you need information on Bootcamp Live, reach out to me. Send an instant message or whatnot. We'll get you hooked up. Hey, thanks for being here today. I had fun this hour. I could talk for a whole hour, no problem. I hope it was worthwhile listening to.